Evening, gang. Well, that's very strange. I've got a clock and a computer matching up, but the one on the screen was a bit late, wasn't it? It was a bit early. How strange. Anyway, evening, gang, and welcome to tonight's little chat show. It's Sunday, the 6th of April, 2025. You're very welcome along Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube. You're watching a show on this evening, gang. First of all, some slightly devastating news, and I will mention this again next before the end of the show. Slightly devastating news. There's no show from me next week. How will you survive, even? There's no show from me next week. At least that's likely. That's likely. I'm hoping to go up to the caravan on Sunday next week. However, there is something that might stop me going, which I will reveal exclusively on this channel a little bit later on, okay? All right, so hopefully, I say hopefully because I should miss doing this. Hopefully there will be a show next week, but it's likely it's unlikely there will be a show next week, but if the other thing happens that stops me going, there will be one. All right? Just to keep you highly informed. Hope you're well there. It's been such a lovely day again here today. We've had several days of really nice weather now. I mean, I've got to be a week's worth. Are we a week now? A week's worth of bright, sunny, beautiful weather. And looking at the weather going forward, certainly down here in Royal Berkshire, down here in the southeast, it continues all next week as well. So happy days. And God knows we need enough of it, don't we, eh? Now, can I just get something out of the way before I start, because they are in the way? I'm sending something off. I'm sending something. I don't know if my sister's with us yet. Are you there, Sharon? Depends what I say next, whether she's there or not. Are you there, sis? Anyway, let us know. I'm going to send some stuff off. Do you know what these are? These are Super 8 films. Hello, Carl. These are Super 8 films, and I have a stack of them, little ones like this. Okay, I've got all these. 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 9 of these. These are 3-inch films. Okay, there is no sound on them. They're silent. There you go. Right. So I've got those, and I used to have a cine camera, and I bought a cine camera in 1979 from Dixon's because I was going on a Scout jamboree and they wanted you to document what you did on this jamboree. As I say, they're all silent films. If you wanted sound on the films in those days, that was much more expensive to do. So I just went for basically the moving pictures. So I've got those 9 here. Right. I've got this one here. It says Chalfont Heights, 1979. That was a scout camp that I went on. So 63, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I was 16 years old at the time. And we went to Chalfont Heights Scout Camp, which is in Buckinghamshire, in Chalfont Saint something. Or that's where it used to be. Whether it's there or not, I don't know. Because of the Scouts sold off an awful lot of those camps over a period of time. But if you were in the Scouts, you'll remember Baden Powell House, which was in Kensington. Okay, quite near the Royal Albert Hall. That's gone now. That went some time ago. The boards went up and it opened as something else. I don't know what it was. Anyway, so I've got that. I've got this one which says Holiday in Cornwall. And I think this one I went with my friend Steve Short and his mum and his dad and his sister, who at the time I fancied his sister. So that's Holiday in Cornwall. But here's the one. Scouts Jamboree 1979, and that's from Maine in the USA. Now that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Not the most looking forward to one I'm seeing. Okay? That one, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I don't think I'm on it, actually, because, of course, I'm the one with the camera. And in those days, I wasn't particularly... Oh, I'm not really. Wasn't particularly bothered about being in the film or on the picture. Didn't bother me whether it was in it or not. You know? Nowadays... Well, in those days, You wanted to take pictures of what was around you or the people that were around you. I certainly didn't worry about taking pictures of myself because I knew what I looked like, sort of thing. And it's a weird thing because most of the youngsters who are addicted to taking pictures of themselves, I don't get it. You know, I mean, I have seen people, not so much at Central Station actually, where I do the karaoke, but I've seen people in bars who in the entire night must take about 100 photos of themselves and upload them. And I've said before, you know, how many pictures of you do you want us to look at? Do you think we want to look at? One's enough. One's enough. Of course, it's different when you're on holiday or something. Maybe you're standing next to Niagara Falls or the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and you want to say, look, this is where I've been. That's okay. But, you know, to just stand there all the time, I don't get it. But there you go. So I'm going to send all those off. Now, here's the one. Are you there, sister, yet? I'm going to ask one more time before I tell you this. Sister, are you there? Let me know if you're there, shout. I'll give her half a minute to answer that. And I found a company called Each Moment. Now, they've been advertising on the Facebook. And you send them a tenner. And they send you this big box with stuff in it. So it comes from DHL, right? It's got a DHL sticker on it. And I gather, I haven't even read this yet. I gather you just leave it outside your house. Hang on a minute. Visit. Oh, yes, here we are. Okay, no, that's incorrect. You visit pickup locator to find your nearest pickup shop and drop off your parcel. You can get a receipt there. You get big black plastic bag. Big black plastic bag there. And they can do all sorts of things, as well as doing cine films. If you've got some audio cassettes, they transfer that for you, okay, onto digital, onto a stick, or in the cloud. I think they put it in the cloud. I think you can do reel to reel tapes. They will do. Remember those beautiful machines? Oh, they were stunning. Anyone who's of an age and might be into radio may well have had one. I had one. I did have one, which I got from a jumble sale, and these were, you know, you got your like cassette tape. So let me just get this out of the way here. Now that I've told you about that, I wanted to do that first because there's a lot of them in the way, and I'm just going to tell you, is my sister there? She would have said something. She wouldn't hide if I asked her. Right, she's not there. As far as I can see, she's not there. Right, I'm going to tell you what I've got here. Christmas 1980. That has got family on them at my house in Hersham Close. Funnily enough, there's another video here with Hersham Close written on it. So that will be my mum, my dad, my two nans, and my sister. I don't know I can't remember. The last time I saw this would have been about 15 years ago when I had a projector. So there's one with Christmas 1980 there. Some of them haven't got any writing on them, so I don't know what's on them. Millets, which is where I used to work. That was my first job, Millets. Millets in Putney. First or second? First, I think it was my first job. I was 16 when I worked there. So that's when I was 16. There's one that says Penny on it. Penny was our cat. Lovely little thing she was. There's one here that says car ride. No idea what it is. What's this say on here? It's got some... I can't read the writing on here. No, nothing on that one. Hersham Close, which is where we used to live. And this one just says family film. So again, lots of dead people on there who I will have loved very much. So I'm going to send all those off. The cost of this wasn't too bad. Each one of these, I think, was £11.99. So altogether there's about £120 worth of stuff to send off there. And that will be going in the box probably tomorrow. And I wait and see what comes back. Now, the Christmas one, what I might do is just receive that back. If it comes back before next week, I'll take it up there, and I won't watch it until I get to my sister's house, and I'll put it on along with some tissues next to us, I expect, and we'll just see what's on it. So there you go. All right. So if you've got any old films, videotapes as well, they do, by the way. If you've got any old videotapes, the problem with videotapes, if you didn't store them correctly, and most of us didn't, I had mine stored in the loft upstairs, actually. And they went up there when I moved here, and they stayed up there for, oh, God knows how many years, 15, 20 years before I started opening the box. And I opened the box, and I looked at them, and without looking, I put one in the machine, and it was just all, there was nothing on there. Anyway, I pulled out the tape and looked at it, and the tape actually had mould on it. I thought, oh. And I pulled out a few more, and most of them had mould growing on the tape, so you couldn't do anything with them. But they do videotapes as well. I think I have got a couple of videotapes actually that I might want to do as well, but I've got to seek those out. I think they're downstairs somewhere. If I'm lucky, I might have one where I took my son to Florida. Again, which I haven't seen for, blimey, 40 odd years. So it's all memories there. Audio stuff. I've got audio cassettes. You know, these are all, if you don't know what an audio cassette is, Carl, or any of the twinks watching tonight, that's an audio cassette. You put it in a player and push the play button. That was it. I was mentioning the large reel-to-reel audio things. These were very big wheels, okay? A bit like the films, to be honest. Big wheels like that. And you put the one with the tape on it on one side, and you put an empty one on the other side. You get your tape and thread it through this mechanics, okay, and then wrap it round the wheel on the other side, and you'd push play and it would turn and play music. It was a beautiful thing to look at. This is the thing with all the digital stuff. There's nothing to look at. You know, I could just push a button now, you know, and play a bit of, you know, I could just push that button there and a bit of music plays. But I don't actually see something happening. There are no little wheels going around. I expect there's software that you can have wheels going around on a screen, but it's not the same. The noise and all that you used to get with this stuff. In particular, a video cassette recorder. Do I have a videotape here? No. Video cassette recorders. What marvels they were when we bought one. Weren't they? You had this chunky old, it's a bit like a large one of those. About about that big, was it about that big and that wide it was. There you go. That would be about, I would say, the width of it would be a bit like that, and the length of it would be about half of that. And you'd pick up this thing, put it in the top, or if you've got a front loader, my favourite ones were the top loaders. You put it in the top and then push down the thing, and you could hear this thing whirring around as internally, all automatically, this machine pulled out the tape from the cassette, wrapped it round heads and things like that inside the machine, and hey presto, a picture would appear on your television. Wonderful machines. I miss those. I actually didn't have a top loader. I had a front loader. It was a Betamax I had. There were two formats. There was VHS and Betamax, okay? And you made your choice. Most people went for the VHS ones. I went for the Betamax ones, which meant VHS eventually won, and they stopped making Betamax tapes and machines. And I had a Betamax one first, which wasn't that good. Whenever it went from a dark picture to a light picture, the screen would kind of jump around a bit, but, you know, it was what it was. Marvellous machines. Anyway, that's what I'm sending off my videos, my films. Maybe one or two of you have done that as well, have you? Anyway, let's say hello to some of you today, my darlings. We have our text number working. 07451 287 337 is my text number, okay? If you want to text in, I shall make sure I keep an eye on the text, unlike a couple of weeks ago, where I didn't look at them until about 10 to 8. So here we go. First text of the year. There we are. It's Mark Bowles. Evening, Mark. He's down in Kent today. Evening, down in Kent with a boy, spending a week with my family. How lovely. Does he love his nan? Does he? Like, we all love nans, don't we? We love nans. Do you remember some of the things your nan used? My nan used to come out with some classics. She had one-liners, loads of them. My favourite... That's interesting, isn't it? Talking about nan and something falls down like that. Hang on a minute. Let me just move something here. Come on. I didn't say anything bad about you, did I? Eh? I'm not going to say anything bad about you because there isn't anything bad to say about you. Hang on a minute. Let me pick those up. There we are. Clock falling over there. My favourite saying from Nanny Hayes when I was about, 14, 13. You know how it is, boys. You start getting a bit leery. Great nephew George is a bit leery, to be honest. and great niece Evie, strangely enough, roughly the same age. And she'd say, I would have said something bad or done something naughty. And she would say, my dear boy, you don't think the whole world revolves around you, do you? That was my favourite saying. And now and again, she'd shove a pound in my hand. Here, come here. Don't tell your mum. And she'd shove a pound or 10p, whatever it was at that time. Sayings that you... What sayings did your nan used to say to you, as a matter of interest? Anyway, evening to you, Mark. Hello to Luke in Peterborough. Evening, Luke. He's got loads of 8mm films of Elvis Presley in Vegas, transferred now all onto DVD. Very hard to find now. Can't remember what I paid for them on the auction site, but it was quite a lot of money. Well, funny you should say that, Luke. DVDs are now kind of old technology, aren't they? But you can do that yourself, can't you, with a computer? You can what do you call it? Computerify it? Digitize it. You can digitize it onto your computer, can't you? So you don't need the discs anymore. And plus, I suppose it's better in a way because you can make loads of copies of stuff. You know, it was a bit harder, although not impossible, to make a copy of a cassette tape unless you had one of the two join things, you know. So you want to copy stuff that's on the computer. I mean, it just takes seconds, doesn't it? You know, if I take a photograph now, I can copy it 100 times onto the computer in the matter of a few seconds and have 100 copies and then put them in different and send you all one. I'd never lose it then, would I? Thank you, Luke. Evening to Shania on the Isle of Wight. Evening, Shania. Oh, I've got news here. News for you, Shania. News for you. Let me write it. Shall I tell you now or write it down? No, let's stay on the same subject because I'm a devil. I'm not a devil. Sorry, Shania. You're the wrong person to say that to. There we are. Can I tell you later, Shania? If it gets 6:45 and I haven't told you, can you remind me then, darling, please? Thank you. Yeah, Shania's there. We got Maureen. Hello to Maureen, who enjoyed the karaoke last night. Thank you, Maureen. We had a lovely, really good weekend it's been. Friday and Saturday at the karaoke has been nice and busy. Everyone joining in. And more importantly, no one doing depressing ballads. In fact, the entire weekend, we've had a couple of ballads, but no depressing ones. Praise the Lord. You know, thank God for that. Oh, it's awful when they start doing that. There's a couple of people who are particular at doing it, one of which was in at the weekend on one of the days. I won't tell you who it was, but they didn't do it. They didn't do the usual boring ballads. Really good songs from all of them, and I told the person as well. It was nice to see Toby in on Friday night. He's auditioning as a dead body in Casualty. I think he'll get the part. No makeup required. Evening to Bosch Washer. Hello to you. He's been to York to see his dad for his 87th birthday. Wow. Lovely. Went to York and went to Panda Mammy for a meal. What? That sounds a bit foreign to me, that one. Is that Chinese food? Is it? Oh, I won't be touching any of that. Thank you very much. Oh, no. Pie and chips, please. Thank you very much. Baked beans and chips. Beans on toast. You know, vegetarian sausage, egg and beans. Yes. None of that foreign muck for me, except pizzas. I don't mind an Italian. Dead or alive, to be honest. Boss says, went to see my dad Panda Miami for a meal. You help yourself to food as many times as you want. Yeah, well, I'd be sitting there just with a glass of water. Thank you very much. Not touched any of that stuff. So seriously, it just doesn't. I just don't like the stuff at all. Anyway, there's the text number at the top there. 07451 287 337 is our local is our mobile text number. Okay. Okay, let's scroll up here and say hello to people in the chat box. All your chats end up in the same place here, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. Okay, so Jason's there. There's Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning. Evening, Vera. Welcome along to you. Evening to Carl, Posh Twink Carl. He's back from America at the moment. Did an excellent relax, don't do it. When you want to sucker to it. There he was on the stage in his crop top, boys. It's something that I feel I could wear now. I think I could wear a crop top. What do you think? That sort of a thing. He had this like multicoloured thing, and I thought it lit up. So I said, oh, does it light up? Oh, yes. He says, yes. I said, well, so I turned the lights up. I said, well, where is it then? It's not lighting up. Turn it on. He said, oh, no, it's UV lights. Well, it doesn't light up then, does it? It just shines the light back, dear. AR Bosch. Oh, it was all mixed food where he went. English, Chinese, Japanese and Korean. Oh, well, that pleases everyone, doesn't it? That's probably a good idea. Having all that. I do like a multiracial, what would you call it? A good mix of people out. I like a good mix of people. All different subjects to talk about. Do you know what I mean? Well, hopefully they won't be talking too much. I do the talking, they listen, and that's how it is. Thank you. We all know people like that, dear. Oh, you can't get a word in edgeways, can you? Do you know people like that? Awful. And sometimes, on occasions where I've been doing this programme in the past, people have said, oh, you do go on a bit. What do you mean? Well, you talk a lot. Well, it's a chat show. What do you want me to do? Sit here and look stupid? Like the youngsters constantly taking pictures of themselves and videos, or the ones on YouTube, we mentioned many times before, the lads. The skinny lads who sit there with no tops on, you know, just, yeah, thanks for the like. TikTok, thanks for the like. Yeah, thanks for the follow. Yeah. Big up, everyone. Keep tapping the screen. Tick, tap, tap, tap. Let's get to 10K. Tap, tap, tap on the screen. Yeah, thanks for the follow, Rachel. Tick, 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 tick. Rachel, pardon, Rachel? And by the way, I've got a list of names of people who are watching tonight. Anyone leaves before the end of the show will be slapped with a £25 tariff from the delightful Donald Trump. He's a very good friend to this programme. And he said to me, Chris, I like your show and I don't like the way people disrespect you, in particular on your radio show. Because he listens to the radio show all the time, you know.
This is Donald Trump, and I'd like to say how much I like Chris Reardon in the mornings.
See? He don't like it when he's my friend, thank you. Luke in Peterborough, the worst karaoke song ever for me is My Way, I Can't Bear It. Yeah, happy days. Me too, mate. They go, oh, I'd really like to finish with My Way. Nope. Depressing, dear. They do it at funerals. My Way. Why? Awful. Give them something happy. Whoa. Best years of our lives. I wouldn't be able to do anything of that in the Catholic Church. They won't have any of that. Certainly they don't allow Highway to Hell. People ask for that at funerals. In a church. Dear me. Shania will have something to say about that, I'm sure. Gary Ross there. Good evening, Gary. Mr. John Dixon Karaoke. You watch the old show on Fridays and Saturdays on our karaoke channel, don't you, my darling? Yeah, I see you pop up sometimes in the chat box. I don't have time to be in the chat box and do the job at the same time. Yeah, I can't be in a chat box, working people's sound, working lights, checking the streams going out, all right? There's a lot to do. Plus, you know, go and get abused by Council Trust Jamie, who thinks it's perfectly all right to suddenly just jump on top of me every time I walk past him. Shocking. Abused. That's what I am, abused. Fortunately, I'm not one of those people. Oh, I'm going to have to write to the Daily Mail now. I've been abused. I can get my... And there they are. They stand there with a face, don't they? They put that face on. Have you seen those people they put in the paper? All sorts of things, right? I don't know. They've been caught nicking benefits or something like that. And there they are. And they put all their best clothes on and makeup on for the photograph in the paper. What's all that about? I don't think you're helping your case, are you, mate? Not you. Let's have a look. Boss, you need a projector. I had a projector. I did have a projector. But it sat in my shed for decades. 2 decades. And I decided to get it out one day. And I put it on, and believe it or not, the light came on, but it wouldn't turn around. It's probably seized up, little bit like little bit like me, to be honest. Seizing up. Anyone else seizing up here? Yes. Gary's painting the kitchen today. Carl, can we see the film? I think so. Yeah. Once it's done, I'll upload it to YouTube as separate videos. There's a lot of them. There's like 9 of them. That's 3 minutes long. I know they're 3 minutes long, so that's probably 20 minutes. Believe it or not, that's only 20 minutes on there. But of course, the quality is fantastic. You know, when you were doing cine films, the quality is fantastic. Not like digital. I would find it a little bit blurry. I mean, mind you, the high definition isn't too bad, but I don't think there's anything that's on the same quality as films. You know, or old pictures taken with an old analog camera where you have to send the film off. You know, you take your little film and take loads of pictures, then you take it to the chemist. Do they still do that? Can you still take a film into a chemist? Or is it all online now? My guess is it's all online. You have to take it to a chemist. Or we had special photo shops, didn't we? There were shops where you take loads of photos, and you got your film, and you take it into this camera shop. And they would sell cameras and do processing, film processing there. They wouldn't send it away. It's all done there. And then you'd wait. You know, you'd either wait, I don't know, 2 weeks. Maybe a week, or you could pay a bit extra and have it back tomorrow. You know, I always waited a week. I'm too tight. I don't know how they coped with some of these youngsters, naughty pictures. Oh, God, do they love to send pictures of bits and pieces to each other? What's all that about? Where's the excitement of wondering what you're going to see when you pull the trousers down? You've already seen it. Don't understand that either. Don't want to see it. Thank you very much. A lot of these, I've seen it. Not me, because you know me. Right, I'd tell you if I did. My opening, I don't send messages to anyone on dating apps anymore. But my opening message was never a picture of bit of me. It would be my face. They don't send their faces. It's the last thing they send. My God, some of these people must be ugly. Fortunately, none of them are listening to this show. We only have good-looking people watching this show this evening, I'm happy to say. Evening to Kevin Woodruff. Evening to you, Kevin. Hello to you, sir. Evening to the lovely Roy. Carl's got a projector. There you go. Look, Carl. Carl's got a projector there. I suppose you could do it if you had a projector working. I don't know how well that would come out, actually. You could kind of have the projector going onto a white wall, or if properly a projector screen, really, you want, and set up your mobile phone looking at it and then record it like that. And you could do it yourself, I suppose. But I mean, it's £11 for each one of those, which don't sound too bad to me. The only thing is there's 9 of them, so that's £99. I think it come to about £120 altogether. There was like an offer if you did so many or spent so much. You know how it is. But you're only going to do it once, aren't you? And I thought it was worth the money doing that. I've been meaning to do it for years. I can't wait to see what's on there. Mr. T. Sparky. Oh, you're a professional. Do you know, you're a professional in lots of things, Mr. Sparky. You impress me, actually. The amount of stuff you've done with your life so far. The amount of certificates you've got. And all that. Because I've got nothing, believe me. Other than... Is it still here? I think I threw it away the other day. Hang on a minute. Is it here? No. Other than my Slimming World certificate from 2018. Carl is probably sitting there laughing now, knowing that I'm no longer on the Slimming World, and it does look like that anyway. I have a Man of the Year I got in 2017, I think it was. 2019, something like that. Slimming World. Tuesday mornings at 11 o'clock. Yes, in Wokingham. Oh, we go to nice areas, dear. Thank you. Anyway, Tex Sparky says, as a professional photographer, I'd like to be behind the camera, not in front of the camera. And I've been doing photography for generations and I enjoy it. But back in the 90s, it was a film camera 110. Yes. Was there a long camera like that? And that was a 110, wasn't it? That was a camera, not cine. Just normal camera taking photos. I had a long one. It was like long and thin. Again, like a bit like that. It was thin. Not might have been about as wide as that. And you'd hold it like that and take pictures. I had a Polaroid. Polaroids, the pictures come straight out the bottom. Blimmin' expensive they were to run though. And do you remember those wonderful bright flashes you used to get? You used to plug this. There was either like one with 4 on it, and you plug it to the top, and when you took a picture, it was a very bright flash, and the thing would turn around, and you get 4 flashes on that, and then it was rubbish. Or there was a long one like that you used to put on the top, and I think that had 10 flashes on it. Not quite sure how that works. He also developed film, so you must have had your own darkroom. Have you been to one of those, Carl? Carl says, my sister does photography and we have a selection of different cameras. There you go. My lovely neighbour, actually, next door, Dave and Karen, they go out doing photographs. They don't do films, they do photographs. And they've recently, last week, they went to Brownsea Island, which is the place where the very first scout camp was. I don't know if that's still there, but they went there specifically to photograph red squirrels. Pretty little things they are. Little ears and little tuft of fur coming out of their ears like that there is. Better than the grey things around it. Oh, the noise around it from the grey squirrels. Well, it's either that or the magpies. Maybe they talk to each other. Don't know. Evening to Paul and Lou joining us. Evening, Paul and Lou. When you have a trouble at the karaoke and tell them to get off the stage, just like the incident with the guy who got undressed and the screen went blank. Yes, they love it when that happens. Actually, when someone's singing, and it doesn't matter who it is, whether they're a regular or someone new, if someone else thinks they can jump up on the stage while they're singing, I don't do much other than, I'm sorry, could you get off the stage, please? And then I'll apologise to the person singing, cut the music and just sit down. You haven't got to do anything else, right? Because if they don't, if they don't get off, right, the entire crowd turns against them. Get off! Get off! You don't have to do anything yourself. You know, don't have to touch them and go up there. I just say it once. I might say it a second. I'm sorry. I'm saying once again, do you mind jumping off the stage, please? Don't have to be nasty. Don't be aggressive, because then that creates trouble as well. Too much aggressiveness in people's lives, I tell you. Carla's got family in Australia, and those days we used to send tape recording messages. Yes, all my grandparents were on the tape recording with my dad and aunties. I have a tape here of my mum calling in just before she died, calling into my radio show when it was on Liberty Radio in London. It was a medium wave station. I used to do 2 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. there. And she called in once, but she wouldn't use her real name. She called herself Emily from Putney. I think it was Emily. Oh, isn't that funny? My great niece is called Emily. I've just put those two and two together there. I think she's 11 or 12 this year. Where's that gone, eh? Kevin, I think it would be worth it, Chris. 120 quid to see the memories. It will be emotional watching those, possibly all of them. But there's one that says family film, and there's one that says Christmas 1980. They are the two. Now, I want to, certainly the Christmas one, maybe the family one as well. I'd get it digitised, put it on a stick and take it up to my sister's house. The only thing is, if she's not on it, she's going to be so pissed off. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You know, as brothers and sisters, we didn't really have much to do with each other, to be honest. Why am I not on it? You must have really hated me. It could create more rows. Maybe I should watch it first. What do you reckon? Don't forget, gang, the best way to contact me directly, and you jump the queue, you jump the chat boxes, is to send a text, okay? It's up there, 07451 287 337. Just a reminder, gang, that text number is not premium rate. It's just a normal text number. So text away, and it's a lot easier then, okay? Jason's got some VHS videos from early 90s that I need transfer into modern tech. Yeah, have a good look at them, Jason. Look through the little window and you'll see straight away if there's mould. It looks like fur growing in it. If it is, then you might want to send one off to see if they could. I don't know if like technical people can do anything with that, whether they can run it for a cleaner or something like that. I have no idea how that works. Okay. Here, Tech Sparky had a reel-to-reel, a mini disc, great piece of technology. Mini disc never took off in this country. I used it because a lot of the singers moved from tapes to mini discs, because I think you could record on mini discs before you could make CD recordings, like record your own CD. If I remember rightly, it was mini discs you could. Plus, you could edit on the machine. You know, you could cut bits out and join bits together on mini discs. Wonderful. Carl, to get rid of mould on tape, you will need alcohol and a Q-tip and carefully wipe it off. What, the whole tape? Oh, you'd be there forever, dear. You got to undo the thing, Carl. And not on the box. Inside the box, right across the thing is mould. You know, I chucked them all. I don't think there was any family stuff there. There was a lot of old stuff I'd recorded off the telly. The entire series of Fame, for example, and just other bits and pieces, because I was very much into television presentation. You know, you probably noticed this show is actually modelled on an ITV presentation type thing, you know, telling you what's coming up in between the programmes. That's what this whole thing is modelled on myself. Sparky also had an 8-track system. Oh, yes, of course, the 8 tracks. Great. They were big, weren't they? People had those in the cars there. John Dixon, Beta and VHFs were revolutionary. They certainly was. They certainly were. When those come on, it was wonderful. You could just record when the timer worked, because it wasn't easy to operate, was it? And then I think at some point, the BBC and the video recorder manufacturers put some piece of technology in there where you could type in, I think, the title of the program, and then the BBC would send out a signal, I believe, to your video recorder, and they would work it, but it wasn't always working. Didn't always work very well, you know. Carl reckons VHS tapes are on the way back. Look at that. We had laser discs as well. Tech Sparky, yeah. Sharon Stones is there. Hello, Sharon. Hello to Sharon. Nice to have you with us, darling. I thought you liked my divorce. I don't remember your divorce, Sharon. When was that, love? Happy days. Get rid of them, dear. Get rid of them. All right. Oh, thank you very much. I've been sent a tip today. Look, Bosch has sent me £2 cash. Thank you, Bosch. Very kind of you. £2 cash from Bosch. Thank you very much. Baby Lemon. Oh, I don't actually get the emoji. It says Baby Lemon looking up to our Lemon character standing in a superhero position. Does that sound about right, Bosch? I think that's the sort of emoji you've sent me there. Thank you very much. All right. Kevin doesn't do TikTok, gets on his nerves. No, you do get the occasional really good one on there. One of my favourite ones is Julie's Beauty Salon. She's so funny. There's a lady who does a ventriloquist act. She's very good. And there's a couple of people who play organ. And they're so young, these organists. There's one bloke, I think he's from the Netherlands. He goes all over the world to just play organs in different churches and all that. And there's another bloke I follow, Matt. He's an organist. He does concerts now. And I started watching him when he was just learning the organ in somewhere in Somerset he is. Do you know where he is this week? Doing a concert? Melbourne. He's done so well for himself. So well. There's London Eats. I think he's got a TikTok channel now. He delivers stuff on his motorbike, like restaurants, food deliveries, Uber Eats, that sort of thing. He does a video there. There are some gems on there, but my God, you have to go wade for a whole pile of crap before you blooming find them. Evening to Ian Law. Hello to you. What carrier you to use? Is it Zoom or Carafun? I use Zoom, so both actually. I have actually two systems on the computer. Mainly Sunfly, Zoom, Sing to the World. They're all the ones that I've bought and are on the hard disk. But I do have Carafun as well, because if I haven't got the tune, you can often find it on the Carafun. But it's a streaming thing. People say, oh, it's streaming, you can't use that. That's never going to work. What if the internet goes down? Hello? How many times does that happen now? Unless you're in one of those places, where it's bad internet. Doesn't even happen at the Caravan, to be honest. I remember when I used to start doing shows up there. Oh, the times we used to get cut off doesn't really happen now, But by the way, there's no show next week, okay? No show Sunday next week because I'll be with family next Sunday. If that doesn't happen, though, for some reason I don't go up there and it's possible, then there will be a show, okay? So just keep an eye on have your subscription, make sure you subscribe to the show and click the little bell notifications in case you can't, you're not there to watch it to tell you, all right? Bosch Betamax had better video quality. Yeah, except I didn't have a very good machine, the Betamax one. It wasn't very, very good, really. Hello to Jack. Evening to Jack this evening. Evening to you, Jack. Nice to see you there. I'm just going to scroll down fairly quickly here and try and pick out the bits that are interesting here, rather than a bit you chatting to each other. Let's have a look here. Bosch has a Nikon film camera. Oh, they were very good. I remember seeing the adverts for those years ago. In the 70s, I have a Yashica SLR film camera, the camera you look in from the top. Look, quality products. Boss is remembering Sony Walkmans. Yeah, I wanted one. I didn't have one of those. I had a cheap Alba. I had a cheap Alba one. Yeah, they weren't very dear. And I used to have that on when I was married. I'd put that on my headphones going to work on the train from Battersea to Wimbledon. And I used to, it was a radio as well. And I used to listen to Radio Jackie, which was a pirate station coming from somewhere around here. I don't think it was somewhere in Surrey, I think it was. And I used to have that on. And my favourite song to listen to on the train was by Sarah Brightman. It's called Him, H-I-M. Not Him, H-Y-M-N, because she's got that as well. Completely different song. Sarah Brightman and Him. Very difficult to find, that song. I don't know. I think it's on YouTube. I think it is on YouTube. Sarah Brightman, Him, H-I-M. Go and have a look. Beautiful song. And the music is actually from a hymn. From a hymn, as in H-Y-M-N. She took that music and added her own words. Sounds lovely. I think probably, what's his name? Andrew Lloyd Webber was involved in that, Okay. Bosch says the organ is coming back. I love the sound of wind through pipes and making music. Yeah, the organ I play at church is electric. It's not bad. It's not great. I don't actually rate it that much. However, it does what it does, and it's loud enough if you're at the back of the church. Where I am, I have trouble hearing it, but it has been mentioned that we might be able to get some speakers at the front at some point, which will be great there. Sony Discman, there's another one from Bosch there. Hello to Tommy. Evening, Tommy. Evening, Tommy. Okay, are you going to any of the Pride parties, says Ian. No, they have no interest to me at all anymore. Not really. Running around, it's just one big blooming party. No, it's not really for me anymore, I'm afraid. I did do Pride parties. I DJ'd at a few in the 2000s, I think, early 2000s, and in the early 90s, we did a couple of floats. I was on a couple of floats and all that, marching around and all that business. No, it's not for me anymore. It's for the young people, really. Paul and Lou went to a boot sale once. Look at this, and there was this woman selling loads of mini discs and a few players. I think I've still got a player somewhere, actually. I asked her how much. She said £20 a lot, so bought them. I asked why so cheap, and she said, he's been a bastard, and I'm selling his collection. He'll find out later. Absolutely. Well, it's better than just putting them in a black bag and leaving them out the door and locking it, leaving a note, get out. £400 they were worth. Look at that. That's not bad. Yeah, well done, Paul and Lou. Isn't it lovely? I think it's lovely to have a physical machine what you can put stuff in and push buttons. I love that. I don't have anything like that now. So, just get the remote control. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the menu. Just boring. Is there anything here? There's no machine in here. I have a double CD player, which you can hear me tapping there, right? But all it is a stand for the monitor. I don't use it. This hasn't been on for years. It's not even connected to power. Don't even know if it doesn't work. I don't have a machine. Oh, yes, I do. DVD player. And again, hasn't been on for about 10 years at least, that last time that was switched on. It's all plugged in next to the telly, never gets switched on. Because it's too easy. I just click that. Click YouTube, Netflix, whatever. Vera, does it mean you won't be around for karaoke? No, that's not what that means, Vera. No, I'll be there at the karaoke. Evening to George Bond joining us this evening. Evening, George. Better late than never, eh, George? What time did you join us today? Let me have a quick look. I should be able to tell. 18:40. 45 minutes after I started. Why is that? By the way, how's your nan? Last time you said she wasn't very well. Hope she's okay, darling. Kelly's just joining us this evening. Evening, Kelly. Another one. 46 minutes late. Shocking state of affairs. Shania, are you still there, Shania? If you are, please speak or forever hold the tongue. Yeah. You're with your mum, are you? Okay. Is your nan all right? She wasn't very well last time, was she? I think you said that. Yeah. The fact that I won't be probably not doing the show next week isn't because that won't keep happening. This is the first time I've been up here for ages, and I lose a day. I was going to stay until Thursday, but actually I'm playing the organ on the Thursday, on the Maundy Thursday, so I need to come back on the Wednesday. So without that day, I just haven't got enough time to see everyone, Shania, are you still there, Shania? She's there. Okay, Shania. Okay. Right. So your thoughts on this, actually. You may remember some weeks ago they asked me to be Eucharistic minister. Those of you that know, don't worry too much if you don't know anything about that. But basically, you give out the Holy Communion at church. And there's been 3 people now who said, why don't you do this, including the deacon? I think Father Danny even asked. So it'd be 4 people altogether, yeah. And a couple of weeks ago, Marion, who does quite a lot in the church, elderly lady, she says, right, you two, and there's me, and a bloke sits behind me called Paul. And he does a lot of stuff at courts and things like that. His wife isn't too well at the moment. She's got that word I don't like to say beginning with C. Yeah, quite bad, actually. She said, right, you two, I'm enrolling you as Eucharistic... Are you? Yeah. And Paul says, well, if I'm doing it, you're doing it. I said, well, I was thinking about it. Right, okay. So today, after Mass, I finished playing the organ. It was the end, Shania, full volume. What did we do? Walk in the light. Walk in the light. Walk. Anyway, and she come over while I was doing the outro, and she's standing there. So I finished, and I played this. I put a chord down like that, and I looked at her, and I'm going. About 10 seconds I had this call done. She starts laughing. All right, can you come over here and have a word with me? I said, yeah. What's up? She said, oh, nothing bad. Come over here. Anyway, she walked down, and then in the middle of the altar, at the bottom, not on, down, Paul was standing there. All right, Paul. And I thought, oh, I know what this is. Right. She says, I'm going to give you a little lesson now, okay? You are enrolled and you're going to be doing this. Right, okay. I don't usually let people tell me what to do. But church thing's different. It's different. It really is different. Because you're not doing it for yourself. Very important. You're not doing this. This is his work, right? So she says, okay. I said, well, I don't know. Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So she give us a little letter. Right. So when we're called, we have a rota. I've already put you on the rota. Have you? Yes. Don't worry. You can change it if you can't do that one. You can swap with someone. Right, okay. So she gave us the little lesson, told us what to do. The hand washing, when you finish, you wash the chalice out, and then you drink that, don't you? But you wash if you've been doing Holy Communion, then you wash your fingers with the water, and then there's a special, what would you say? It's not really like a sink, but it is. So it's like a little bit like that. That's got water in it. There's a hole in. And you then pour it in that. You'll know what I mean, Shania. And anything goes that hole goes straight down into the ground. Okay, it's a religious thing. So it looks like I'm going to do that now, Shania. There you go. And I can't tell you how nervous I feel about that. I mean, I've done the whole thing, altar boys and everything. I've done. No, I was an altar boy and everything. I've done the whole thing. So nervous, nerve-wracking. So fingers crossed with that. Fingers crossed. So that's the news there, Shania. All right. There you go. Kevin's found the song by Sarah Brightman, Him on YouTube. What a lovely song. Yeah, H-I-M, yeah? Not H-Y-M-N. It's H-I-M. La da 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 da. I can't play it to you because of the copyright thing on YouTube. It'll just kick me off. Well, it'll give me we won't be able to claim money for this program. Not that we get anything at all. Oh, there you go, Shania. Don't know. I haven't. Apparently, she did say Simon sent me something, but I thought that was to do with the altar servers. What's this here? What's this? Okay, that's not here. I was sent something by Simon, who I'm not quite sure what he does, but I didn't click it because I thought, well, I'm not an altar server. That can't be anything to do with me. I think there's something on there as well, so we'll see how that is. Not next week though, because it's Palm Sunday, and I'm away. I'm hoping if I'm up north, and it'll be a struggle to be honest, because I don't get up to that caravan till about 2:30 in the morning. I think a 10 o'clock mass in Lincoln, well, that'll be about 45 minutes to an hour from my caravan, but I really would like to go. There is a smaller church in Boston it's okay, but this one in Lincoln, I go to, I've been a couple of times to midnight mass, which is at midnight on Christmas Eve. So I'd really like to go there because that's like proper an old place. All right. So that's the news there. So what will stop me going up north this week is if the car people contact me. Not the car people where I'm buying the car from. The car crash people. Yes, boys and girls, I was involved in a life-threatening accident at the weekend in London, boys and girls. A life-threatening accident on the Euston Road junction with Pancras Road. I have photographic evidence to show you this evening. And there I was at the junction, Euston Road. I'm on Euston Road in the middle lane. There are 3 lanes. Right, straight on. Middle, straight on. Left, turn left. Okay? So there I am, sitting happily at the lights, which were red at the time. Life-threatening injuries. Life-threatening crash I was in. And kind of just looking straight forward, Crash! What bleeding hell was that? But I wasn't pushed forward. It was the side of my car. the side of my car, and it's taken off my wing mirror and damaged the, that plastic bit around the wheel. What's that called? I don't know what that's called. Plastic bit around the wheel arch. Damaged that a bit, and there's a bit of a paint mark on my car. However, no dents. So here is the photographic evidence, boys and girls. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. I could have died. No one cares. Look how it's sticking out now. Look at that. Look. Sticking out the front it is, and it won't get pushed back. There's the rubbish that I picked up off the thing there of my car parts. Bit more here. Look, can you see how it's like damaged there? Right, sticking out of the front there. You can see that, can't you? Okay. Yeah, just about there. So you can see we're on double red lines there. Okay. And finally, this is where it happened. Okay. So, can you see it's 3 lanes? Where that's just behind the red car, there is a black, looks like a BMW to me. Is that a black BMW? I was there. Lights were red. If you have a look to the right, there is a silver taxi, which is about to turn left. So the coach, did you hear me? Coach here, not car, coach. Great big, huge, white coach. Somehow, it's hit the side of my car as it turned left. I have no idea how it happened, and the coach driver doesn't really know either, strangely enough, but that's how it happened. So I don't know if it was the front of the coach or the back, because sometimes they swing out a bit, don't they? But not quite life-threatening, perhaps. I mean, it was a little bit of a shock, to be honest. But you know what? The coach went round. He immediately realised and straight away pulled over and put his hazard lights on. I'm now stuck at the red lights because they still haven't changed yet. They may have changed. For a moment, you're like a little bit put out. Oh, my God, what's happened here? You know, you're a little bit put out. So maybe they had changed and went back to red. I don't know. Anyway, eventually they went green. So I turned left and pulled up behind him on the double red lines. Then, of course, within 2 minutes, the police came by. They kind of looked over. Why are they on? Oh, they've had an accident. Oh, no, they just carried on and left us to it. Right. The coach driver come out. Big bloke he was. As in fat. But a lovely man. He said, all right, mate. He said, oh, I'm really sorry. He said, I just don't know how I've done that. I said, well, don't worry about it, mate. We'll exchange details and let the money people sort it out. I can't be asked. I'll be honest, I was saying this to Roy the other night. I'm the sort of person that looks at, I can't be asked, just pay someone to sort it out. There you go, there's the money, sort it out and bring me the car back. I can't be asked. But you have to tell the insurance people. I was told by a couple of people not to tell the insurance people, but I went on there, and if you don't tell them and they find out your insurance is invalid, that's the problem, whether it's your fault or not. And I thought about this. How would they find out? They all talk to each other, these insurance, like government departments nowadays. Don't think you're going to do something dodgy with that department and someone else isn't going to know about it. That was in the past, love, when everything was by letters and envelopes. It's all computers, it's all connected together. They know. This is George Orwell's 1984. And believe me, all those insurance companies talk to each other. I'm always surprised sometimes when you type stuff in. How do they know that about me? Do you know what I mean? Always surprises me that. So it said on the thing there, you must tell. So I told them. The other way they find out, of course, if you don't tell them, but then his coach company tells their insurance, they would then say, look for me, and that's his insurance, because they know who you're with, without you even telling them, I suppose. And if they say, you've had is that right? Well, he hasn't told us. Hello? Now he knows. And then you get into trouble. So I just, nah. It's not worth it. I know I'll be penalised. So that was on the Friday night. On the Saturday morning, I noticed it was open at 9 o'clock. I run and coach people. And she said, sorry, the lady's not in today. Can you ring back Monday? Yeah, so I'll ring back Monday. And I thought I'll wait until I've spoken to them. But you see, this is the problem with getting something happening at the weekend. There's no one to talk to. So if I spoke to the coach company, then 48 hours, 72 hours is almost passed. 40, is it 20? Whatever. All those hours have passed, and there might only be a short 24 or 48 hour opportunity of window for you to tell the insurance people, and that's the problem. See? By that time, no, you're too late, mate. You know it is. Like getting on a Ryan EasyJet plane. Once you've gone a minute over the time, that's it. You ain't getting on that plane. It's just a pain in the arse. It really is, having to deal with all that. That's the thing. You know, but I rang up the insurance and I spoke to the bloke. Very easy. Not too much of a problem. He asked the questions that needed to be answered and I answered them. And he was happy and, yeah, sounds like it's not your fault. I said, so do you know that definitely? He said, it depends what the coach driver tells his company. But I don't think there's any problem because even while I was standing there, he rang his boss and says, oh, I've just hit a car. You know, so he's already told them. The annoying thing is, right, I've got dash cam. And I think I've said to you, this bloody thing's useless, right? So I got to work and my mate Nick says, oh, did you get it on your dash cam? Good point. I'll go and have a look now. Now, it's a leading dash cam. Can't think of the manufacturer. Hang on. Dash cam makers. Nextbase. It's a Nextbase. It was fitted by Toyota. And the idea is you start the car and it starts recording. And I think it records in like 30 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever it is, right? Anyway, so I look back, but it misses stuff out. There are times where I look over, oh, that's not working. You know, well, it weren't working last night, was it? Because I looked at the thing and there was a recording from like Thursday at like 4 p.m. And then the next recording is while I'm sitting behind the coach exchanging details, and there's nothing in between at all. Stupid, useless thing that is. So no, there's no dash cam footage, unfortunately. Useless. Absolutely useless. Shania says, Dad says, I expect it was the back end of the coach that hit you. A lot of coaches nowadays are 3 axles with the rear axle steering. That makes the rear end swing out much more than normal. Yeah, I think that's probably what happened. Do you know what though, people? No complaints at all about the coach driver. He didn't try and get out with it. He was really, really nice to me. He was about the same age as me, actually. He wasn't a youngster, you know. And plus, what's the point in getting angry? Yeah. Have you seen some of these people when stuff? Have you ever accidentally stepped on a straight lad's white trainer in a club? Oh my God! They think the world has ended. It's a trainer. Anyway, that was my major life-threatening accident that I had. I'm lucky to be here, to be honest. Lucky to be here. I am lucky to be here, actually, knowing some of the things I've had over the years and I've got now. Okay, so there we are. Kelly says we need a new dash cam. Well, don't get one of those. Dash cam, Nextbase. Well, they have had my models, to be honest. Yeah, what's this here? Tech Radar, the best dash cam. Let's see. To fit every budget. What did they put at number 1? Oh, okay. Viofo 83A329. Because my new car, and that's the other thing, you see. We're waiting for the new car, which is imminent now. Actually, I haven't looked recently. Let's see what it says now. It reckons the best one you can get is Viofo. So you might want to have a look at that one, Kelly. Viofo A329. There's also a Garmin Dash. I wouldn't buy another Nextbase one. I've been very unhappy with that one. Garmin, they're a good make, aren't they? Garmin. Don't buy cheap. Buy cheap, you'll be by 2 or 3 times. Useless. Tech says some dash cams only record if you get hit at high speed. No, this one should be recording all the time. But it clearly started recording. I don't know why. Didn't start recording that day until I was sitting behind this bleeding coach. Yeah, I've got front and back. All right. What was I just going to look at then? I was just going to look something up for you then, weren't I? Anyone remember what I just said? What I was about to look at? We've done dash cams. Oh, Bosch says Garmin are rubbish. Are they really? Okay. I don't know that. Don't forget, do use the text, gang. 07451 287 337 for your text. 07451 287 337. Oh, there we are. George, his nan's in hospital at the moment. Well, I hope she gets well soon, darling. Okay. Do you remember what I was about to go to then? I was about to type something in and look it up for you, and I can't remember what it was now. Cars, cameras. Oh, I don't know. That was it. Honda. I was about to look at Honda, weren't I? Let's see how the car's coming along now. Honda. There we are. Honda ID. Sign in because it tells you how far along the thing is here. Hang on. How far along the new car is. Don't forget, I don't buy cars. I pay so much a month, so it's like a rental type thing. Okay. I think it was actually Roy who told me don't ever buy a car because as soon as you drive out, it moves straight away. Right, now we're still on that. Vehicle production complete. Your vehicle has been built and shipped to the UK, but the bit where it says vehicle has arrived in the country is not yet ticked. They did say it would be sometime in April, so I'm hoping that my one will be fixed and sorted by the time it's swapped over. The insurance company arranged all that. He's given me the name of a company who will ring me in the next couple of days, presumably tomorrow, because I don't think many car places work at the weekend, do they? So I assume they're going to ring me tomorrow. OHM, I think it is, OHM or something like that. They'll repair the car, hopefully looking exactly as it was before, and then it'll go. So there we are. Shania's going to watch the church recording to see if your lesson is live. No, probably not, Shania. I think that recording's set for an hour and a quarter, then it cuts off. I think. We had a long mass today because we had a lot of new people coming into the church, before Holy Communion. Is it RHM, something like that? R something she said it was, I can't remember. Hello to Joseph. Hello, Joseph. Here you go, Roy. I think Thinkware U300 front and back. Oh, £529. Oh, I don't think I want to buy that. Blimey. That is over the top, dear. That is over the top. It's an expensive month, actually. I've got a lot to pay out for this month. My most expensive part of the year is January, February, March and April. A lot of bills come in at that time. Plus, I've bought a few bits and pieces. I've got to finish off paying for the Californian holiday by Thursday this week. So I've got to pay that. And I've just bought a new bike. I bought a new electric bike. I've been after one for some time now. And I went into 4 shops. I went into Evans Bikes in Bracknell. Very helpful. Nice man in there. Showed me a few bits and pieces. Showed me this bike. Didn't really have High Sense or something like that, I think was the manufacturer there. Hello to Richard Morris. Evening, Richard. Evening, Richard. Just seeing the backdrop behind you. Here's a question. What do you prefer? Daffodils on your piano or tulips on your organ? Listen. Just because you're Jewish and you don't have organs there, you're jealous, aren't you? Because there's no organs in a synagogue. Unlucky. Come and join us. All are welcome at the table of the Lord. Absolutely. Oh, we haven't got an organ. Daffodils. Daffodils. I prefer daffodils on the piano, I think. Oh dear. So thank you, Shania. RCIA, that's it. Part of the lesson is recorded. Oh, well, happy viewing, Shania. You'll see me looking very concerned because I'm not comfortable with that at all. Don't know why. Don't know why. And standing in front of the tabernacle with the doors open, that close, is a little bit, I don't know, I can't explain it. You feel an awful lot of power coming out of that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, I bought a new bike. Evans, very helpful, went in there. Then I went to Trek, Trek. There was no one in the shop. This absolutely delightful lady from South Africa was assisting me in there, and she said, "Hey, take it out." So I took it out on the pavement and went up and down there, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that bike at all. Then I went to Halfords. Hello, have you got an electric bike? Yes, 5, just over there, mate. Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Not interested. Not interested in the slightest. He couldn't be asked. Couldn't be asked. The last bike I bought was about 35 years ago. Just a normal bike. We didn't have electric bikes then. And it come from a company called Berkshire Cycles in Crowthorne. Lovely part of the world. Lovely, lovely part of the world. Right. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go down there because I reckon they'll have what I want there. So I went in there on Thursday. My intention was not to buy. I wanted to look. Again, Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning, no one in there. A few members of staff milling about. Lady come over. "Hello, sir, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I've got an electric bike over there. It's all right, but it won't go up hills." I said, "It's bleeding useless. It's great for flat. Great for flat. Great for flat. But anything more than a slight incline and it really struggles, and you get to the point where it's actually easier to cycle a normal bike up a hill than try and get that blooming thing up there. Just awful it is." Okay. She said, and she called this lad over. So, "Would you like to come and help this gentleman here?" Yeah, okay. "Hello, mate." And I thought he's blooming young. I thought he was about 22, 23. Turns out, I discovered on Saturday when I went to pick it up, 17 years old. But you see, that's the... I've said this before. I mean, when I used to go into Tandy, when we had the wonderful Tandy shops. Oh, wonderful shops. I used to go in there for hours. Never bought a thing. I just like looking at the wires. Like some of these blokes on here, they're like that with nuts and bolts and car parts, as you well know. "Oh, wow, I bought this new bolt the other day. Oh, it's beautiful. Ever so silver." I'm like that with cables and connectors. And I always went to the boy that was working in there because he would be into it. It's not just a job to them. You see some of the old blokes and they're like, "Can't be asked. It's just a job." No, they're into it. Now, that being said, the people at Berkshire Cycles clearly know what they're doing and they're into it. But a boy who's there will be really into it. Like going to, I don't go in computer game shops, but I know some lads who work in computer games and they're really into it and they know everything about it. Far more than you and me do, right? Anyway, so he said, "Yeah, what are you after?" I said, "Well, I want something that sits up. That's my bike over there, but it won't go up." He said, "Really?" I said, "No, it's useless." I said, "And if you do a Google search with that model, there's a lot of people saying the same thing. It just doesn't go up hills. It's fantastic for flat. You know, there's not really any pressure on your feet and it whizzes along. Then a hill comes. Oh, that's the end of it, mate. Don't want to go up the hill." Perhaps it's my fat arse. You know, my arse is so fat. When I'm on a bike, I'm sitting on the bike. My arse is actually dragging along the back wheel. It's terrible. Terrible as you get older. He said, "Okay." So I said, "I want to sit quite upright." He said, "How much do you want to spend?" I said, "Not thousands, but I'm prepared to spend a little bit, not hundreds either." "Okay." So he's looking around. I said, "Right, I'll tell you what, come down to the other shop." I said, "Oh, I thought that was all the expensive bikes in there." He said, "Well, there is, but there's a couple of things in there I think that might suit you." Okay. So as we're walking out, he's very, very chatty, asking me all these questions about stuff. He said, "Okay." So we went into this shop and there's bikes in there like 10 grand. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with spending 10 grand on a bike if it's your thing. You know, for someone like me, I just want to cycle along to the shops, maybe go out now and again for a little bit of a bike ride, couple of hours or something like that. I want to do my shopping on it. That's what I use it for. I'm not going 50 mile down to Brighton and back, racing along like those delightful lycra dad people like Cycling Mickey or that dickhead of all dickheads, Jeremy Vine. Have you seen his videos? What an arsehole. What an absolute arsehole. Right, he sees an accident coming, right? And, you know, let's be fair to some of these lorry drivers, van drivers. They can't always see. Or they might make a mistake and not look properly. Okay? So, an example of a Jeremy Vine video. He really is an arsehole of the biggest degree ever. Right? So he'll be cycling along at speed. At speed. He's doing more than 20 mile an hour. I'm telling you that now. Absolutely. And a van or car might pass him and it goes so far along and it's a fair distance from him now. And they start indicating left. Right? What would you do at this point? Would you slow down? Because I would. I might not use my brakes, but I'd come off the pedals for a moment just to see what that van is doing. The cyclist, incidentally here, does have the right of way. You've got to give way to the cyclist, which is on the inside of you. Okay? Van starts indicating. And you can see the van start turning. And he shouts it. No, no, don't do it. The idiot doesn't slow down. He is an absolute arsehole. Him and that Cycling Mickey. Awful people. And before you say, oh, you're saying that because you're dry. I'm a cyclist as well. I'm just not stupid. I'm not a stupid cyclist going through red lights, this, that and the other. Funny, you never see them upload videos of cyclists that are doing anything wrong, do you? Only motorists. So yes, indeed, the motorist is about to turn left. He's in the wrong, right? But like another bloke I watch on YouTube, Ashley Neal. Like Ashley Neal says, even though it's their fault, you could make this a non-event by simply slowing down and letting it go. I never forget the time Jeremy actually bumped into someone's the back of some white van. And he could have avoided that, but he decided to keep pedalling at full whack. What an idiot. Don't like him at all. Tech Sparky, Cycling Mickey is crazy catching people on the mobile. Yeah, it's true. He goes up and down. He goes up and down at traffic lights with his little camera, right, waiting to catch someone on their mobile phone and then sends it to the police. What sort of person must you be to do something like that all the time? Awful, awful people. But, and I'm not inciting violence or anything, they will have their comeuppance, these people. At some point, they'll pick on the wrong person. I'm convinced of that. Won't be me, I'm afraid, because I don't pick up the phone while I'm in the car. Don't need to. Can just talk to it. Hello, call Sharon, my sister Sharon, and it just rings her. She usually ignores my call, but that's okay, you know. Awful people. Yeah, I think so, Jason. He'll get filled in sooner or later. I'm convinced that the pair of them, awful people. All these sanctimonious people, they really are. Anyway. Bosch, Porsche bike. Do I want a Porsche bike? £18,500. Or is that £185,000? Please don't tell me there's a bike available for £185,000. God. We've got someone called Simon there. Hello, oh, there we are. Hello, Vectis. Perhaps you could hire a milk float while your bike has been fixed. But would you be able to handle the speed? Bosch, Halford's great sales pitch. He wasn't interested, the bloke. Have you got any electric? But yeah, just 5 over there, mate. Right. Aren't you going to... And I thought, you know, it goes through your head. Don't you want to take me over to the bikes and try and sell me one? No, not interested, are they? Not interested. Anyway. So where are we? We're now in the specialised shops. Specialised, S-P... Specialized is actually the name of the manufacturer of the bike. They're called Specialized bikes. They're not like specialized like, I don't know, like our very own Simon is a specialized radio host. It's not like that. They're just the name of the bike. They specialise. It's like a brand. Anyway, so I'm looking at it. So he pulls out this bike. And it's got a little bit of a... it's a nice colour. Lovely blue colour. And he said, right, we've got this one. Do you want to see how you sit on that one? And he pulled it out. And he was just so helpful, this boy. Clearly wanted to sell me a bike. And knew, but not pushy in any way, shape or form. I like that. Funnily enough, Honda aren't like that as well, either. They don't seem to be... Well, they weren't pushy with me. Or this particular... There's a lady selling me that. Lovely lady she is from Romania. Beautiful girl. Not pushy. So he pulled this out. He said it's got a low crossbar on it. You should be all right with that. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll try it. Well, I tried to cock my leg over it. No, I still couldn't get it over the low one. The low one. So if it's like a triangle like that, right? A low crossbar one means you've got that bit there and a low one sort of almost parallel to it but a bit further in. And immediately my foot hit it. I thought, oh, I'll have to... No, not that one. I thought, no, I don't want that one. And he says, how about this one? And it was a yellow one. You can look it up if you want. It's a Como, COMO 3.0. He said, we've got 3 of those here. He said, what do you want? Hub gears or derailleur? I said, derailleur. Okay. What's the difference? The hub gears are like a silver thing and all the stuff is internal in this thing. And I think there's 3 gears in that, if I remember rightly. I can't remember. 3 or 4. There's not many gears in that. And the chain goes in and out when it changes gears. The derailleur ones are the ones with several gears all next to each other at varying, at slightly increasing size, you know? And you pull your little finger as it goes across from one gear to another. The other electric bike I already had, kindly given to me by Martin, doesn't have any gears at all. It's just a single drive. Might be part of the problem trying to go up hills. But it is what it is. And it'd be perfect for riding in Lincolnshire, which I intend to do. I intend to put it into my car, take it up to Lincolnshire, and I'll be able to use it up there. No problem at all, you know. So he's pulled out this bike, and it's like, I thought it was bright yellow, but it's like yellow, slightly green, if you see what I mean. Do I have a picture? I think I might have a picture to show you. Hang on, mate. Listen to me calling you mate. Well, you are, aren't you? You're my mate. We're all mates here. That's the nice thing about it. Here we go. There it is there. Oh, hang on. There's a picture of Ronnie and his cat. There we go. You can see this. Got it on the phone, and that's it there. Okay, that's it there. So it's a slightly greeny yellow, sort of beautiful colour, very reflective, I have to say. Okay, come up there, you go. Come closer. That's it. And that's it. I said, oh, that's a nice one. I said, how much is that? So he told me the price. I said, oh, it's a little bit more than I want to spend, to be honest. He said, well, don't worry about that. I'll see what we can do it for. Okay. So I'm looking at this. I said, oh, all right, just sit on it. He said, yeah, go on, go ahead. And it's low. It's a low step through, so no cocking your leg over the thing. So I sat on it. The seat was a bit high because I've only got little legs. I'm a bit of a short ass, to be honest. So I stepped through this bike and sat on it. I said, he said, how's that feel? I said, yeah. I said, yeah, this is all right. He said, do you want to take it out? I said, oh, do you do that as well? He said, yeah. He said, let me just take it back in the other shop. He said, I'll have to, it's gone to sleep. I'm not quite sure what that means. It had gone to sleep and they have to plug it in to wake it up. He said it'd take about 2 minutes if you've got the time. I said, yeah, that's all right then. Took it back into the other shop, plugged it in for a while. There's an old bloke sitting there. And he says, well, gentleman's interested in this bike. What can we do this for? He says, okay. And he looked at me. He looked straight at me. He said, is it him? Yeah, okay. All right. So he gave me the price, which was £550 less than the ticket. and the price given, which I won't tell you. You can look it up if you want. Although it's different prices on the screen, so you'll have to guess which one it is. But I said, "Oh, that's very reasonable." I was happy with the price. I was happy with the price straight away. It was nowhere near what the original price was. So I said, "Yeah, okay, I might be interested in that." He said, "Okay." So then the boy come back out, had a little bit of a chat with him. I said, "Were you sitting there when I come in?" He said, "No, I don't think so, mate." He said, "I might have been 30 years ago." He said. I said, "Is this your place?" "Oh, yeah, yeah." I said, "You've been here some time, haven't you?" And the girl who had spoke to me when I come in the shop, she said, 40 years this year. 40 years that Berkshire Cycles has been there in Crowthorne. It's not bad, is it, eh? And there's loads of bikes and also little kiddies ones. I always think they're really cute, don't you? You know, when you see these little kids, little girls and little boys, the girls' ones, do you remember the ones with the tassels coming out of the handles? Aren't girls funny? You know, when they're little girls, they have tassels coming out of the handles, right? As they get older, sort of the early 20s, they work in strip clubs and put them on the ends of bras. Same things. Tassels. I get the feeling I could wear those, perhaps, and start swinging tassels around on the stage while I'm doing the karaoke. Do you think that's a good idea, Vera? Let me just read this message text in here from Dean. Hello, Dean. Welcome along. Dean's not far from me in Surrey. Hello to you, Dean. Nice to see you, mate. He used to be a regular at the Black Cap in Camden. Happy days back in the 90s. So long ago now, all that business. So long ago. Thanks, Dean. Roy said 1750 online. Well, it might be that, Roy. Might be. It was actually priced at 2,300 in the shop, which I didn't want to spend that. I really didn't want to spend that, you know. So out comes the bike, and he says, "Right, you've got trouble going up hills, so come out here, turn left and turn left." He said, "There's a steep hill at the top there, then you turn left, there's another really steep hill." He said, "Then you turn left again and you'll come back down the hill and turn left and you'll come back to the front door." Fine, thank you very much. So off I went. Shown me the controls. These electric bikes are fairly simple to use. They are quite simple. All you're doing is adjusting the speed with a button, lights on and off. Although the default, interestingly enough, the default for this particular model, the lights are on. I don't know why that is. They're on all the time. So you have to turn them off in the daytime if you want to. On the other hand, bit like those daylights that we have on cars now. You know, all cars now have day running lights on them, don't they? So I suppose it's a bit like that, and I might just leave them on and done with it like that. So up the hill I went. I thought, oh, then I've got the gears now. I've got to be honest. It's lovely to have gears back on a bike. I've always had gears on a bike, except the electric one that won't go up the hills. There's no gears on that. It was lovely to have gears back. You're pedaling fast, click, pedal slow, speeding up, click, pedal slow, speeding up, up. Yeah, that's perfect. And of course, as we're going to the hill, getting a little bit more difficult to push along. So up I went with the gears, and it had no trouble at all going up these two steep hills. In fact, as I got to the top of the second one, I turned around and come back down and tried it. I tried it 4 times going up the same hill. No trouble at all. And I got back there and I just stopped around the corner from the front door, to have a look. I didn't want to go back in the shop. I'm having a good look around this. I thought, you know what? I like this. I really like it. And it looks good, which is not necessarily a good thing because then it becomes nickable. Do you know what I mean? And you can spend a lot of money on locks and things. If they really want it, they will get it. But it will take them some time, depending on what lock you buy. So I went in the shop, and the boy come over. He said, "How was that?" I said, "You know what?" I said, "You've sold me a bike." He said, "Great. Okay." So we went to the till. He said, "You can take it now if you want." I said, "Oh, I can't take it now because I've got to cycle that back. Can I come and pick it up either Saturday or Monday, please?" He said, "Yeah, no problem." I said, I want a couple of panniers. So I bought a couple of new pannier bags because my old ones have started getting holes in them. And they're like 30 years old, made of that nylon stuff. They've been very, very good. So He showed me one lot, too small. He took me over to another lot, far too big. Enormous bags. I just didn't like them. And we come sort of halfway and I don't know about those. Even they look a little bit small compared to what I've got. I know, I'm sure they'll be all right. I'll be honest with you. I've got it now. I used it today. No, they're too small, those bags. However, they were only 25 quid. So can't complain about that. I'll have a look online and see if I can find something a bit bigger, but not massive. I don't want these great big blooming things. Because that's how I do my shopping, you see. If I've got heavy shopping to buy, I take my bike. I never take the car shopping, only for bog rolls. Gordon, why do they take up so much space, bog rolls? I was shocked when I went in Tesco's yesterday. I usually buy the double rolls now. I don't know about you. Double toilet rolls. Nearly 10 quid. Nearly 10 quid. Tesco's own brand. I mean, it's not like that velvet stuff that makes your ass feel nice, is it? Incidentally, a lot easier on the piles now without being too graphical. Not too much of a problem now at all. So that was it. So we done the details at the till. He took a deposit off me. And he also said, is the seat too high? I said, yeah. He said, right, they are very long. He said, that's actually at the bottom now. He said, what we can do is cut a few inches off for you. He said, about 3 inches. And I said, yeah, that'll do. That's 3 inches should do it. Fine, thank you very much. When do you want to come? I said, Saturday or Monday, depending. I'll get my mate to give us a lift down there. He said, great. So I came home here, very happy. Rung up my mate. I said, look, any chance of a lift on Saturday or Monday? He said, yeah, I can do Saturday or Monday. What do you want? I said, Saturday, please, 11 o'clock. So Saturday, 11 o'clock came. My mate, Saturday, 10 o'clock came. My mate turns up early, which is not like him, to be honest, but he turned up at 10 o'clock, about 10:15, took us down there, paid the rest of the money and cycled it all the way home. And I've used it again today to go to church and back again. I bought another lock. I now have 2 D-locks on it. 2. One, and maybe you know something about these, Roy, because you'll know. I think it's ABS. Is it an ABS lock? Is it ABS bike lock? Hang on, let me tell you. I don't know if it's ABS or what. Oh, ABUS. It's an ABUS bike lock. So I've got one of those, and I've also got another D-type lock, which I've had for years and years and years. So I've now got 2 locks on it, and I'll probably take the battery off when I'm not using it. The only time it's like in a place for a long time, unsupervised, really, is outside the church on a Sunday, although I've found somewhere else to put it now for like 4 hours. A-bus, that's it, Roy, that's the one. The other time is if I go to London and I cycle up to the train station and it's there with all those other bikes. I'm not so sure about that one. So I think I've pretty much decided my old normal non-electric bike, if I go to London at night time, I'm going to take that up there. And no one's going to want that. Because it still works perfectly all right. Chain that up there, and that's the one I'll use if I ever go to London from the train. Because, I'm there, even with 2 locks on it, I'd be parking there at like 4 in the afternoon and getting back at midnight. And there's no one around there. I mean, I do believe, actually, there's a camera right on that bike rack. Although, I've no idea who's watching that, to be honest, because there's no one in the train station by the time I get back if I've been to London, for a night out. Are they gold standard? Excellent. I can't remember the model I've got. It's downstairs, actually. Frame lock. I think they're frame locks. It's a frame lock. I think it's called no, it's not. No, it's not a frame lock, is it? No, it's not. Oh, God, they've got loads of different ones, haven't they? A-bus. Blimey, they've got loads of them. Lock, brackets, bike, wall flang, coil, cable. It's not a cable locks. No, it's got to be a frame lock, isn't it, then, I suppose? Hang on, maybe there's another page, is there? No, I can't find them now. Locking type. No, can't find it. It's downstairs, anyway. Anyway, that's what I've got. So I bought a new bike, and that's it. Roy says, leave the old bike at the station. Yeah, absolutely. I think so as well, Roy. I think so as well. I can't be leaving that thing up night. That's a nickable one, that is. You know, I don't normally buy things for looks, to be honest, but I was quite blown away with how this one looks. So anyway, that's the bike news. Hopefully no one will knock a wing mirror off on that. You know? Right, any messages to read out? Let's have a little look. We'll carry on. Toilet rolls. Text party goes to wholesale in town for kitchen roll and toilet roll. 110 rolls for £25. Happy days. My nephew gets through a lot of toilet rolls. Gary. He buys them in bulk. There's I don't know, about 40 toilet rolls. It takes him only a week to get through those. Ask him. Ask him on his show. I tell you what, ask my sister and her husband on their show tonight on Butler's Empire at 8 o'clock. YouTube Butler's Empire. Type in Butler's Empire to the search box and you'll find them there. Say, is it right that your son gets through 5 toilet rolls a day? See what they say. Bosch, why do they have scented toilet rolls? Your nose is not behind you. No, actually, they're quite nice, Bosch. Yeah, they make the toilet smell nice, not just your arse. They make the toilet smell really nice, scented toilet rolls. I can recommend peach. That's quite nice. Bosh, you remember the brakes that had brakes when you pedalled backwards? No. Oh, they didn't have brakes, did they? Weren't they freewheeling bikes? Never had one of those. No, didn't have one of those. Roy saw about 30 rally choppers today at the Ace Cafe Bikers Place, all in pristine condition. Yeah, I mean, if you're into it, great. If it's your thing, then absolutely. If you can afford it, spend £10,000 on a bike. Absolutely, if that's your thing. But it's not my big thing, you know. This is my big thing, my microphone. £200 that was. £200 dear for a microphone. Jason, is the bike a tax deductible item? I don't think I can get away with that one. Let's start cycling to work. Don't know how it would go with me cycling down the M3 though. Is there another way to do it? I wonder. I'm going to look that up. Cycle route Bracknell to King's Cross. And it's about 35 miles. Oh, A30, via the A30. Via the A30. 3 hours and 23 minutes. Sod that, mate. Blimey. Oh, my little legs drop off. Let me see the route. Directions. Here we go. A30 to... Oh, really? Hang on a minute. Oh, this route has restricted usage or includes private roads. Look at that. Okay. The problem is, of course, you can't now take a electric bike on a train at all, I believe. Certainly London Transport have stopped them. I'm pretty sure South West Trains, which is our trains around here, you can't take an electric bike on there anymore because they've had a couple of fires, you know. I mean, they're unusual to have. It's quite unusual. You don't. The problem is, I think a lot of the problem is people buy cheap batteries, and it ain't a good idea to do that. People buy cheap batteries. You've got to buy the manufacturer. You have to spend the money. Same with iPhones. Cheap batteries on iPhones and phones like that. You know, and don't come back to us. Oh, well, I've got a cheap battery. It's lasted me for years. I had that with printers. I bought non-manufacturer, what are they called? Compatible printers. 2 printers I lost like that. I bought the cheaper ink. No, blocked up. Of course, somewhere. You always do say that. Some smart ass, oh, well, I've bought the compatible ink for the last 5 years and my printer's all right. Well, whoopee-doo for you. Mine wasn't. I learnt that very early on, actually. Never buy a copy of something. In particular, dangerous things like batteries, bulbs for the oven. There's another one. Don't buy a cheap say, for example, you've got a Hoover oven. Don't buy a non-Hoover bulb. You know, don't buy one off eBay because you'll put it in and you'll be cooking something and you'll hear a little bang and there'll be glass everywhere in your oven, including on your roast beef. Unlucky, bitches. Chuck it away. Okay. Right, where are we? Hello to Tommy. Bracknell to King's Cross. Can't you hitchhike? Excuse me, young Tommy. I'm not like you, love. Standing at the edge of the road, lifting the side of your shorts, showing a little bit of your ass for a free ride. God knows you were known as a free ride years ago. Good. Okay, Paul and Lou. Here we go. I've got a specialised bike. It's not electric, but it's a great mate. Yeah, they do non-electric. There's plenty of bikes in there that are non-electric, and my God, aren't they cheaper? You get a really nice bike for 350 quid in there. The reason I got an electric bike, and I put it off for years, is because I had a problem with one of my knees, just on the side there. And this problem always occurred when I was cycling, sort of in the last 10 years. It started about 10 years ago. And I just kept putting up with it, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. And that's why. Vera, how many miles can you do before you have to charge it? 80 to 100, apparently. As you say, I could cycle down to King's Cross, 3 hours and 23 minutes. Plug in there. You know, like certain people stealing electricity with their mobile phones in a pub. And do I enjoy pointing them out to everyone? Absolutely, love. Right, something has to show you. Now, I came across this story about suitcases. If you're on a plane, you need to avoid certain coloured suitcases. What you want, in an ideal world, is a case that doesn't look like anyone else's. The Daily Mail. Airlines have warned holidaymakers about suitcase colours they should never use. If passengers want to avoid the disaster of losing their luggage, which could make or break a holiday, it's best to have a distinctive suitcase. There can't be anything worse than turning up at, your Jet2 holiday. And I've become addicted to the Jet2 holiday jingle. How's it go? Welcome to Jet2 holidays, and right now there's £50 off per person. And hold my hand. One of the best adverts ever. Whoever came up with that, it's happy, it's bright, it's sunny, and it screams at you. It's time to go on holiday. Very, very clever with Jet2 and that. And they've had that going for years, haven't they? Turning up at your Jet2 holiday. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't find your luggage. And there you are, in the same clothes that you've travelled in, no other clothes to wear. You're going to have to buy some more, aren't you? Awful. I've been very lucky over the years. I've never lost any luggage. Have you? Have you ever lost any luggage at all? You right, Tommy? Let's have a look. Ryanair. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Roy. Sorry to say that awful swear word on there. It's one of the worst words ever. Ryanair. Won't catch me on a Ryanair. I don't want to go on or with anyone that's going to treat me not well. Of course, you talk to my sister. She always takes the opposite view of anything that I say now. I think she just likes to have a row or a confrontation. I'm convinced of that. If I say something to her, she'll tell me the opposite thing. Oh, well, we've never had a prime on Ryanair. One of those, What was it she was saying the other day? Oh, yeah, because I had my coronavirus and said, why are you still putting that in your body? She said, we ain't having any of those chemicals in our bodies. She'll always take the opposite view. Always. Anyway, back to this story. That awful... Sorry about that. I'm so sorry, Roy. Let me just say. That awful airline have said if you want to make sure you don't swap luggage with someone else's, because that can happen as well. Not for anyone's fault. You thought it was your bag and you pick it up. I must admit, whenever I get my bag, the first thing I do is unzip the thing a little bit and have a quick look inside. And I know what's like on the top, do you know what I mean? Just to check it's mine. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to take someone's clothes with you anyway. Then you've got the hassle of taking them back, haven't you? Oh, can't be asked with that. No. Avoid black, grey and navy cases. They are the ones to avoid. Black, grey and navy. Okay? It says Add a colourful luggage tag if you've got one of these, or ribbon to the handles so there's no confusion on arrival. And on my navy case, well, which is no longer, I've told you that story, haven't I was packing it ready for Florida back in January. I'd just had dinner. My mate was with me. I'd done him something to eat. I'm packing this case a couple of days before. And I lifted it up. And I put it onto the glass hob. Opened the case. Anyway, I went outside and I come back. What's that? And suddenly there's this big black thick. The hob was still on. And also black smoke. Oh, it was acrid. Like that I am. Awful. Great. Picked it up off the cooker. Turned it off quickly. Great big hole in the case. Burnt plastic on the glass hob. Oh, terrible. So that went. But when I did have it, I had a big white like X on it that I put on with gaffer tape. That's what I put on mine. I do know someone, you know, when we had the United Kingdom Talk stickers, which actually I threw away. I threw them away a while ago. Those stickers. I threw rolls of them. I threw them out. I'm never going to use these again. And here we are again doing it again. But there we go. The budget airline says, make it easier to spot your checked baggage on the carousel, especially if your luggage is black, navy or grey. It comes after a report from the Economic Times found that black bags are the most commonly lost of any at the airport. Do not get a black suitcase next time you want one. Bosch says Samsonite cases are the best. I'm sure they are. My thing with that is they are also expensive cases. And if I was a robber, or not a robber so much, a thief, if I was a thief, then I'd look at that case, that's an expensive case, probably got expensive things in it. And I'd go for that one rather than something that was cheap or tatty. Now, my mate doesn't bother with things like that. He wants the best case he can possibly buy. So he has had sets of cases before, and they've all got to be the same colour. Oh, can't be arsed with that. It's just a case. To me, it's just a case to carry your clothes around. So, and it's pointless putting endless locks on there. They can all be broken off easier. You know, I think at one point I just put cable ties around it once, which wasn't a clever idea because they then took the scissors off me at the airport that I had in my hand luggage. But you know, one of those things. You know, I'm sure one or two of you have had locks which won't open when you get to your hotel room. You ever done that? Can I just ask, how easy was it to get the lock off, even though you'd lost the key? Wasn't difficult, was it? Okay. Now imagine a professional thief doing it. Easier for them. So that's why I wouldn't have a Samsonite. Kelly, stick an air tag to it. Great idea again, Kelly. At least it would tell you where the bag has ended up, wouldn't it? You know, you're going to Cyprus and it's ended up in Australia or somewhere like that. Okay. So, where's that story gone? There we are. So black bags are the most commonly lost colour of any airports. It says, while it may be the obvious choice, passengers could unknowingly be increasing their chances of a travel nightmare. So avoid black and grey and navy. They're the ones most likely to go missing. Now, you can go a step further with this. And I've sought out a lovely selection of cases for you to choose from here. Okay, see if any of these take your fancy. Some of them are from Debenhams and some from Amazon, I think they are. Here we go. How about that one? Oh, yes. Now, not cheap. £169, one of those. 14 quid. I think that's a little kizzy ones with a lady on it. Quite like that one. All different colours available. How about that one? Antler. So that's going to be an expensive one as well. I'm loving some of these cases. And I think they add to the holiday. That's my personal favourite, that one there. The green one with the sunglasses. I can imagine Gary Ross looking a bit like that on a holiday, Gary. Aliens. Yeah. That'll do for some of the customers at Central Station. But £235, that's a lot of money to spend on a case. And I like that one as well, the chicken with the hat on. Again, 159 quid, a lot of money. I'd be much happier spending sort of 50 quid on a case or something like that. But do any of those take your fancy at all? Kelly likes the third one. What was that then? So that's the first, that's the second. Let's see which Kelly one was. Gary Ross takes a couple of Tesco's carrier bags when he goes on holiday. Yeah, me too. I like that one as well, Kelly. That's quite nice, isn't it? The one with a smiley face on it there. Fabulous. But they're not, like I say, they're not cheap. These are not cheap items at all. Funny, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Some cases for you to select from. No more black or anything like that, okay? I just want to go back to the bike for a while. I don't know if I mentioned this. I bought some panniers for the back, and I've discovered this morning, as actually I thought when he put them on, I went to Marks and Spencer's after church today, and they're just too small. I did manage to get the stuff in there, but you can't put the carrier bag into the bag. You got to take the stuff out and rearrange it in the panniers. And actually, I had dinner today, which was no chicken Kievs, which is like, a vegetarian option of a chicken Kiev. I was in a box, I'm putting them back, and I got it out, and I've done my roast potato chips. I did in the air fryer. And I opened the box and they'd all fallen apart where they'd been shaken up and down, and they were also on the side, and that sort of thing is supposed to keep it flat, aren't you? And stuff like that. I personally I wouldn't want to spend more than 75 quid on a suitcase, to be honest. Those cheaper airlines, it's Ryanair. Doesn't seem to be EasyJet that people have much of a problem with. It's Ryanair. They're the ones that get all the bad press all the time, aren't they? And they just seem to change the rules every 5 minutes. This hand luggage thing gets smaller and smaller. Craziness. Gary has a Teletubbies suitcase and a pair of Bermuda shorts. Yeah, that's all he takes, Gary. I can imagine that, Gary. Dean in Surrey. We had so much fun in the Black Cat. We absolutely did. I was so lucky to have that job for 18 years. Although, to be honest, I should have gone at about 10 or 12, I think. After that, I'd lost. The music had changed. The people had changed. You'd gone as well, Dean, by then, I think. The best time in the Black Cat was the late 90s. The late 80s and right the way through the 90s. Literally right the way through the 90s till about 1999. 2000, the music changed, and I kind of, okay, let's try some of this. But I wasn't enjoying it as much as I did the 90s. But the money was very good. Remember, it was a job. It was heavily into it, what I was doing. I put everything into that job. Everything I put into that job, And it's probably why I'm sitting on my own now, because if anyone came along, it's all right, but if you got in the way of the job, no, bye. Tommy, I've panniers that clip on the carrier and can be used as shopping bags. Oh, wow. That way you can't buy more than you can carry on the bike. Oh, that's easily done, isn't it, Tommy? How easy is it to buy too much? Oh, I can't get it in the bag now. Of course, I could put a rucksack on, but that's just a pain in the arse, isn't it? You just want to put them in the little bags on the sides of the bike and be done with it. But I'll have another look online. As I say, what I bought only cost me 25 quid. Plus, that can go on the other bike. The old bike that I'm going to take up to the train station if ever I get a train, like late at night or something like that. Late night train. I'm not taking the new one up there. It's nickable. You saw the picture of it earlier. It's far too nickable. Right, what's the time? 6. I think we might. What else have we got here? Have I got anything I can tell you quickly? Oh, yeah, 2 things together here. When did you realise you were old? And we've got 4 minutes to do this, okay? 4 minutes, and then we must go, because my sister would be pissed off. Oh, we're doing our show at 8 o'clock. Why are you going on later? It'd be like that. I can't. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth it. Not worth having a row. I must finish about... Cheers. Okay, 2 questions for you. When did you realise you were old? And what's your car or hoover called? I ask you that because there was a thing on GB News, where I love GB News in the morning, with Stephen Dixon and... Who was it the other day? Oh, it was Angela Rippon this morning. How lovely to see her. She does look like she's in a bit of a daze, to be honest now, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. It's Angela Rippon. We love Angie. We love Angie. When did and they were saying on there about people calling cars names, and then he says, well, my Hoover's got a name or something like that. They call them Hoovers, which I think probably started with the Henry. What a great name, Henry the Hoover. And then they brought out Henrietta the Hoover, didn't they? That's great. Has your car got a name? Mine doesn't. My car doesn't have a name because, and I've told you this before, I don't drive a car. I fly a Starship. It is the UK RAV4 Mark III. That's what I've got. The UK RAV4 Mark III, which will soon be passed on to another space race when it is gone into my retirement, and we take delivery of a brand new Starship very, very soon, boys and girls. Brand new Starship coming along very soon. Let's have a look. People felt old. Vera, when I started hanging around with you. How rude. She feels old when she's hanging around with me. Roy feels old standing at the toilet and waiting 30 minutes to pee. Anyone else? Come on. Names for your cars or your Hoovers. Quickly, you got a minute and a half. That's it. The first time I felt old, I think, was I was DJing straight club in Hammersmith called Belushi's. And I had to get up on the chair because a wire had dropped down and I wanted to hook it over. Anyway, I'm getting on this chair, holding on to it, and I got up there. So I was about 42 at the time. And this young lad come over. "You all right, mate? Do you want me to do that for you?" "No, I don't." That's when I first felt old. And as you know, aches and pains now, they appear. Illnesses are the thing. They take months to sort themselves out. My stomach is almost sorted itself out. It started end of December. That's how long it's taken. And the constipation issue started at the beginning of January and has just about sorted itself out now. Now, the last thing I've got to do is stop taking the powder, and that to me is worrying me a bit, because if I stop taking that, will it come back again? Do you know what I mean? I think that's how they hook you up. And then there's the cough. Coughs which go on for weeks, if not months, and start worrying you, don't they? Henry the Hoover, there you go, look at that. The Enterprise, yes, the Enterprise. Good name for a car, And Paul and Lou says, when I went to a bar last night and the bouncer asked for my bus pass as an ID. All right, we're done. Thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. Now, don't forget, there's probably not a show next week. It all depends whether the repair people take the car in this week. Because if they want to take it in next week, I'm a little bit mucked up. But I'll have to just go with that, and then I won't be able to go up north. But I really want to go and see my family, because I haven't seen them for since Christmas. Since just before Christmas. So that's what I really want to do. But it's a possibility I won't be able to go up there, in which case we'll have a show next Sunday. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, gang, I do a radio show that's on in the mornings. Reachonair.com. There it is. Okay, 9 till 10, Monday to Friday. Do join us there. On there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. If you just type in reachonair.com, okay? Type in reachonair.com tomorrow morning, just after the 9 o'clock news, and I'll be there, all right? And that's also on Tuesday nights as well, between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Okay? Have a nice evening, gang. The Butler's Empire will be with you in 45 seconds' time. Go to YouTube, type in Butler's Empire on the search bar, and it should come up on the top there. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.